What's up, eggheads? Kenan here with Newegg Now, always bringing you the best products for the best prices. If you're interested in a budget-friendly gaming case, this is definitely going to interest you. I've got the LIAN Li LANCOOL 215X gaming case right here. Fit for ITX, MATX, ATX, and EATX motherboards up to 280 millimeters. This was built specifically with airflow and thermal management in mind. Obviously very important for gamers or video editors, anyone running computationally heavy stuff, so I'll be talking a lot about that. Let's get into it. Okay, starting from the outside in, you'll notice two pre-installed 200 millimeter ARGB fans in the front, nice and big. In the rear, there's a 120 millimeter fan. These 200 millimeter fans, however, are not practically 200 millimeters with respect to airflow. Part of the airflow is blocked by the chassis on the inside. Not a lot, but somewhere between a fourth and a third of each fan in the front is just for looks. From an expert's point of view, you have the effective airflow of two 120 to 140 millimeter fans in the front, which is still great, and the 200 millimeter aspect makes it look really cool. All right, they'll still deliver an airflow up to 98.3 CFM, that's cubic feet per minute. You combine all of this with the mesh panels, right? Look at this, the mesh panel on top, the honeycomb vents on the rear and the back near the PSU. Really an impressive amount of ventilation in this model. There's a magnetic dust filter on top, like I said, a removable full-length dust tray on the bottom. Whoa, here we go. That's gonna pull right out. It's gonna protect the internal components from dust accumulation without impeding the airflow. It does need to be removed by pulling straight out, so you may have to turn your computer to the side or pull it away from the wall to fully remove it. You know, certain sacrifices were made to keep this extremely low price, so I get it. The LANCOOL 215X supports a maximum of 7 fans and radiators in various sizes and configurations. The front panel supports up to 3 120 millimeter fans or 2 140 millimeter fans, 280 millimeter or 360 millimeter radiator with a max thickness of 70 millimeters. LIAN Li says that if you still use the 200 millimeter fans mounted outside the frame, you'll have enough room to front mount a 360 millimeter radiator. I personally wouldn't suggest that. There's already some blockage from the metal of the case, therefore these fans are already slightly static pressure challenged. If you jam a radiator in front, creating more blockage, it might do more harm than good. You could have a radiator on top though. The top panel supports up to 2 120 or 140 millimeter fans, 240 millimeters or 280 millimeter radiator with a max thickness of 55 millimeters. The bottom panel supports 2 120 millimeter fans as well. Tons of options for cooling, so much airflow support. I checked online for some CPU, GPU, 3D thermal benchmarks. This case did super well in its class. From all the data, LIAN Li's LANCOOL 215 was at the top of the charts for CPU temperatures, meaning it was the lowest temperature, right? So it's just got a really favorable design for CPU cooling. Lots of ventilation at the top, a lot of open area on the bottom and at the rear face of the case. So they've really delivered on their promise of good airflow. You've probably noticed the transparent tempered glass side panel easily bask from the RGB lighting from all the gear that you might have on the inside. Before we jump inside, I'll show you what's going on with the I/O panel on the top. It's got all the essentials you need. It's got power, reset, LED, 2 USB 3.0 ports, and HD audio combo jack. In terms of cable management on the inside, there's a 22 millimeter thick space behind the motherboard back here to ensure that the cables fit in well, and you've got rubber grommets around the motherboard to keep the cables nice and neat. The max GPU card length you'll get here is 370 millimeters, max CPU cooler height 166 millimeters, and supports power supplies up to 210 millimeters. The fans in front are obviously RGB fans. They come with many effects that you'll enjoy viewing through that mesh panel. The 215X comes with a pre-installed fan hub, which provides extra power to potentially 3 more fans and 1 more ARGB device. LIAN Li also gives you the option to control the fan lighting with 5-volt 3-pin addressable RGB motherboards. Just press the LED button for 3 seconds to pass over control of the lighting to the motherboard. Isn't that great? We all love options, right? That's going to be compatible with Asus, ASRock, and Gigabyte. And that's pretty much it, everyone. The LIAN Li LANCOOL 215X gaming case. After doing my homework, I found that the LIAN Li LANCOOL 215X did actually perform very well with respect to thermal benchmarks. If keeping your system cool for a budget is a priority for you, this case truly is a great option. It looks great, you've got room for customization, multiple ways to control the RGB lighting, cable management, ventilation, up the wazoo, right? Only a few drawbacks, but that's to be expected at such a low price. And I believe that they've made some really smart sacrifices. Right? The front-facing fans don't actually provide 200 millimeters of practical surface area for airflow, but you still get at least 140 millimeters out of each one, and an awesome look. And again, it was still top in its class for thermal benchmarks. Let us know what you think of the LIAN Li LANCOOL 215X gaming case in the comments and reviews. For current prices, please check the description or click that link below. I'm Kenan with Newegg Now, and now you know.